if they would do what I did, if they would act like I do, if they would be as good a Christian as I was.
This book will not be error-free. There will be typos and misspelled names and errors of various kinds. The author is not God Almighty. I do not have every hair on these people's heads counted. This book has not been put out with the luxury of ghostwriters, editors, a paid staff of researchers and a large budget. I look at many trivial projects which the elite are able to pour millions of dollars into, and I look at the research I do when at times I've not had a dime to photocopy some document I want. There is so much for me to communicate about the Illuminati, who they are, what their rituals are like, and how they control the world that it has taken several years of writing to begin to give people a fully cohesive picture. Finally, after a number of requests that I assemble my writings exposing the top 13 Illuminati bloodlines, I have taken the time to put it all together in a book with a comprehensive index. History is important. In order to know where we are going, we need to know where we have been. To control the past is to control the present. The Illuminati's control over the entire learning process from cradle to grave gives them great ability to shape our frames of references. Jesus spoke about historical things. Paul reminded people of historical things. Josephus wrote a history of the nation of Israel. Long ago in the dark unwritten pages of human history, powerful kings discovered how they could control other men by torture, magical practices, wars, politics, religion, and interest-taking. These elite families designed strategies and tactics to perpetuate their occult practices. Layers upon layers of secrecy have hidden these families from the profane masses, but many an author has touched upon their existence. I began my research when I began to get first-hand reports from very informed people that an elite group did rule the world. My research into Saturn's hierarchy went fast because of my skills as a researcher and because I knew from the beginning from my informants about the reality of what I was investigating. My investigation into the Illuminati led me to read and pray about thousands of books. The quantity of books, newspapers, magazines, and manuscripts and papers which were read to get me to where I am today numbers in the many thousands. I do not know how many nights I stayed up studying and finally collapsed into sleep with blurred red eyes. I do know that I was driven enough in my study that I often would not stop until my eyes and mind could go no further. Men and women with sharp intellects like Edith Starr Miller, author of Occult Theocracy, and Alexander Hislop, author of The Two Babylons, have tried to research the occult world and the connections between the different groups. I first read Hislop's book in 1981. His book shows that there is a continuity between the ancient occultism of the mystery religions and modern-day religion. Edith Starr Miller's Occult Theocracy was very helpful for me to rapidly see some of the many hidden historical and operational connections between occult groups today. Finally, the book Holy Blood, Holy Grail and its first sequel, The Messianic Legacy, gave me a deep, insightful look into the 13th bloodline. But my understanding has been lifted by countless other investigators who are worthy of praise because they dared to challenge the power structure to get to the real facts, less than, T greater than, in mockery and imitation of God's 12 tribes, Satan blessed 12 bloodlines. One of these bloodlines was the Ishmaeli bloodline, from which a special elite line developed alchemy, assassination techniques, other occult practices. One bloodline was Egyptian, Celtic, Druidic, from which Druidism was developed. One bloodline was in the Orient and developed Oriental magic. One lineage was from Canaan and the Canaanites. It had the name Astarte, then Astorga, then Ashtor, and then Aster. The tribe of Dan was used as a Judas Iscariot type seed. The royalty of the tribe of Dan have descended Dautan.
He wasn't blue-eyed and blonde-haired. He looked like Jews do. Probably dark, black, curly hair, and black eye. I don't know. The Bible didn't give us a description. But of his character, of his life, of his walk, the way he lived, the way he loved, the way he moved in the power of God, he exampled to us not fallen man. But he said to Philip, one of his disciples, he says, when you've seen me, you've seen the image of the Father. So when God sent his Son, he sent him as the perfect example of humanity minus the fall. And while God established the law, Jesus came and was the only human being ever recorded, ever, to never violate the law or the spirit of the law. And the two are different, you know. The law says thou shalt not kill. The spirit of the law says you shall not hate your brother. Because murder is a violation of the spiritual side of the law. That's why the law is really God's emergency brake. At least don't go this far. Don't kill. But when you get down to it, what God is really interested in is don't hate. Because hatred leads to killing. You get it? And Jesus then comes and he displays to us as a human being in our body with the same nature, not the sin nature, but the human nature, with all of the problems you and I face. All the chances to disobey God that you and I have. All the chances to follow God, which he took, which we rarely do. And he did it perfectly. So God didn't send the law to heal you, and he didn't send the law to save you. He sent his son who came in the likeness of sinful flesh. And it's important to know that the Savior was the one who came, and he was not just a man, he was God. He was the Son of God in human flesh, but he never walked this earth as God. He walked it as a man, because you and I couldn't follow God, but we can follow a man that's helped by God. Now, I want to make that statement again. You and I can't follow God. The fall has made it an impossibility. Totally robbed us of that ability. The fall took that away. Maybe in the garden before the fall, Adam and Eve could have been conformed into God's image and moved into holiness, but not now. The fall has totally eliminated the ability of any human being to walk in righteousness. And so God sent his son to model it for us. But not just that, God sent his son in the likeness of sinful flesh and for sin. Now, when you study the little clause there, or phrase, and for sin, it really indicates for a sin sacrifice. So Jesus came to defeat sin by the way, not of performance, but of a sacrifice. He was qualified to be that sacrifice by his sinless, spotless life. But when he died on Calvary, when he gave his life on Calvary, he paid the price for the penalty of every sin that every human being, from the beginning of time to the end of time, has ever committed, might commit, or will commit. There's not one sin today that's not been paid for. Christ doesn't have to come back and go to the cross for the next generation. He doesn't have to come back and go to the cross for the sin that you'll commit tomorrow. He knows that you committed that, and he's already paid for it on Calvary. So what the law could not do, in that it was weak through the flesh, God sending his son in the likeness of you and I, and to pay the penalty for our sin. But listen, he didn't just pay the penalty for our sin. His sacrifice as the Son of God paid for the breaking of the power of the dominion of sin and every aspect of sin that the fall produced in humanity. Now, I need to say that again. His sacrifice didn't just pay your debt. It took a look at the system of sin that was installed in the fall. The sin nature, the temptation to sin. The powers
of every sin that every human being, from the beginning of time to the end of time, has ever committed, might commit, or will commit.
Not just the sin penalty, but the power of sin. He sent him to defeat it. The dominion of sin. He sent him to defeat it. Temptation to sin. He sent him to defeat it. Hallelujah. Oh my God, what a Savior. Oh my God, what a Lord. Oh my God, what a Master we worship. Thank you, God. Thank you, God. Thank you, God. Hallelujah. Glory. He sent him for sin. Oh, you got to see this. Condemned sin in the flesh. You know where sin is? It's in us. I know that in me, I'm quoting Bible to you now, pastors, you know it. I know that in me, that is in my, all right, folk of the church, watching by television, I know that in me, I know that in my, dwelleth no, what does it mean when